Hello everyone, and welcome to English Fluent, your go-to podcast for mastering professional English in the world of project management. I'm Johanna, and today we're diving into an incredibly important aspect of project management: effective communication in English.
And I'm Neil. Today's business environment is global, and English often serves as the common language for teams spread across different regions. Whether you're managing a team of local professionals or coordinating an international project, strong English communication skills are critical for success.
Exactly. In project management, you have to communicate clearly with your team, stakeholders, and clients at every stage. Miscommunication can lead to costly mistakes, delays, or even project failure. That's why mastering how to use English effectively is not just an advantage, it's a necessity.
We'll be covering several key areas today: how to initiate a project with clear communication, how to provide regular updates to keep everyone on track, and how to handle the more challenging aspects of project management, like giving feedback or addressing issues. We'll also touch on how to close out a project professionally.
Whether you're new to project management or looking to refine your communication skills, this episode is packed with practical tips and phrases that will help you excel. So, let's get started with the first stage: kicking off a project and getting everyone aligned from the very beginning.
Segment 1: Kicking off the project, initial communication.
Let's talk about the all-important project kickoff meeting. This is the meeting that sets the tone for the entire project. You'll be introducing the scope, timeline, deliverables, and team roles. But beyond just presenting information, your goal is to make sure everyone leaves that meeting with a clear understanding of what's expected of them.
Yes, and this is where the language you use becomes crucial. You want to convey authority, confidence, and clarity when you're outlining the project goals. For example, be direct and specific. Instead of saying, "We'll be working on improving customer satisfaction," you can say, "Our primary goal is to increase customer satisfaction by 20% over the next quarter by improving our product's user interface."
Right? Notice how adding specific targets, like 20 over the next quarter, gives your team a clear objective to focus on. It makes your goal measurable and removes any ambiguity. Similarly, when you're defining team roles, be very clear about responsibilities. For example, instead of saying you'll be working on the marketing strategy, you could say you will be responsible for developing the digital marketing strategy and ensuring all campaigns are aligned with the project's timeline.
This is especially important when you're working with a global team. English might not be everyone's first language, so clear, structured sentences help prevent misunderstandings. Always aim for straightforward language. Instead of saying something like, "I'd really like it if you could try to focus on the analytics side," say, "Please focus on developing the analytics strategy for the next phase."
Absolutely. During the kickoff meeting, you also want to be clear about deadlines. A common pitfall is using vague language like, "We'll aim to have this done by the end of the month." Instead, say, "The deadline for this deliverable is September 30th, and we'll have a check-in on September 15th to review progress." This leaves no room for misinterpretation.
Another key element is setting expectations for communication itself. Make sure your team knows how and when they should report progress. You could say, "I'd like everyone to send a weekly update on their progress by Friday afternoon, and we'll have a team meeting every Monday at 10 a.m. This way, everyone knows what's expected in terms of communication.
The kickoff meeting is your chance to establish clear communication norms and lay the groundwork for a smooth project. If you set the right tone here, you'll minimize misunderstandings and ensure that your team is aligned from the start.
Segment 2. Communicating during the project, regular updates.
Once the project is in motion, communication doesn't stop. If anything, it becomes even more important. One of your main responsibilities as a project manager is to keep everyone informed about progress, challenges, and any changes to the project plan. Regular updates, whether through meetings, emails, or reports, are critical to keeping everyone on the same page.
Exactly. Let's start with how to handle status meetings. These meetings are usually held weekly or bi-weekly, and the language you use here should be concise, informative, and focused on key points. For instance, you could start by saying, "As of today, we've completed 50% of the design phase, and we're on track to meet the deadline for the next milestone."
This way, you're giving a clear picture of the current progress. But status meetings aren't just about reporting what's been done. They're also about addressing any potential roadblocks. If there's a delay or an issue, be direct, but also constructive. Instead of saying, "We've fallen behind on the development work," you could say, "We're currently facing some delays due to unexpected challenges in the development phase, but we're working to resolve them and are adjusting the timeline accordingly."
Notice how that language stays professional and solutions-oriented. You acknowledge the problem, but you also show that you are actively working on a solution. This helps maintain the team's confidence in your leadership.
When it comes to emails or written updates, being concise is especially important. Start with a summary of the current status. "We've completed 70% of Phase 2 and are on track to meet the next deadline." Then outline the next steps. The focus for the upcoming week will be completing the testing phase. Using bullet points or short paragraphs helps ensure your message is easy to digest, even for non-native English speakers.
Another important aspect of mid-project communication is setting the tone. Use positive, motivating language to keep the team energized. For example, "We're making great progress, and with everyone's continued efforts, we're well positioned to hit our next milestone." Encouragement goes a long way in keeping the team motivated, especially when deadlines are tight or challenges arise.
That's a great point. And when it comes to reviewing progress, make sure your language is specific. Instead of saying, "We need to pick up the pace," try, "We need to increase the speed of development by 10% to stay on track for the upcoming deadline." This gives your team a clear target and keeps the focus on solutions.
Effective communication during the project isn't just about reporting, it's about ensuring that your team feels informed, supported, and motivated. By using clear, precise language, you can keep the project running smoothly and ensure that any issues are addressed before they become major problems.
Segment 3. Handling difficult conversations, conflict, and feedback.
As much as we'd like every project to run smoothly, the reality is that there will always be challenges. Sometimes, team members don't meet expectations, deadlines are missed, or stakeholders aren't happy with the progress. How you handle these difficult conversations can significantly impact the project's success, and using the right English phrases is essential to keep the discussion professional and constructive.
Exactly. Let's start with giving constructive feedback. If a team member isn't performing as expected, your goal is to address the issue in a way that encourages improvement without causing defensiveness. This is where using softening language in English can help. For instance, instead of saying, "You've missed several deadlines," which can come off as accusatory, you might say, "I've noticed that we've had some delays in meeting recent deadlines. Could we talk about what might be causing these delays?"
This is a great way to open the conversation. By framing the issue as something to be discussed together, you're inviting the team member to share their perspective, which can lead to a more productive solution. It's also important to focus on the behavior, not the person. For example, Instead of saying, "You're not organized enough," you could say, "It seems like there have been some challenges with staying on top of tasks. Let's look at how we can organize the workload more effectively."
When giving feedback, you can also use what's known as the compliment sandwich technique. Start with something positive to set a constructive tone. "You've done great work on the design so far." Then, introduce the issue. "However, I think we need to work on meeting the deadlines more consistently." Finally, offer support. "Let's figure out how we can structure things to ensure the remaining deadlines are met." This approach helps to keep the conversation balanced and focused on improvement rather than criticism.
And when it comes to conflict resolution, especially if there's tension between team members, it's important to remain neutral and focused on the problem rather than taking sides. Start by acknowledging the issue. "I understand there's been some disagreement on how to approach this task." Then, move towards a solution. Let's find a way to address these concerns and make sure we're all aligned moving forward. Using language like "let's" and "we" creates a sense of teamwork and shared responsibility for resolving the issue.
That's a great point. In these situations, maintaining a calm and composed tone is key. English has a range of phrases you can use to diffuse tension and promote collaboration, such as, "I can see both sides of the argument," or, "It seems we've hit a roadblock. How can we work together to move forward?" This not only keeps the conversation professional, but also encourages problem solving instead of finger pointing.
And remember, when addressing difficult situations, it's crucial to listen as much as you speak. By giving team members the space to express their concerns, you show that you value their input, which can lead to a more constructive dialogue. Summarize their points by saying, "If I understand correctly, you're concerned about." This ensures they feel heard and can help in finding a solution that works for everyone.
Handling difficult conversations in a professional and constructive manner is one of the most important skills for a project manager. By using clear, respectful, and solution-focused language, you can address problems early on and keep your project on track.
Segment 4. Closing the project, final report and presentation.
As the project nears completion, you'll need to provide a final report and presentation. This is your chance to summarize the project, highlight key achievements, and review lessons learned. English is essential here to ensure your message is clear and professional.
When delivering the final report, start by stating the objectives. At the beginning of this project, our goals were to. Then, outline what was accomplished. We successfully completed. Highlight any major milestones, using phrases like "one of the significant achievements was."
If there were any challenges, address them in a constructive way. "While we faced some difficulties with," and then discuss how they were overcome. "We were able to resolve these by." This shows problem-solving skills and reinforces the value of the team's efforts.
And with a clear summary and next steps, if applicable, to conclude this project has achieved, or moving forward, we recommend. The goal is to provide closure, so your language should be confident and conclusive.
Final presentations or reports are also a chance to demonstrate professionalism. Using polished English, with the right tone and vocabulary, ensures that your work is well received and leaves a positive impression on stakeholders.
So, there you have it. Using English effectively in project management is all about clear, structured communication. From kicking off a project to handling conflicts and presenting results, the language you use can make or break your project's success.
Remember, strong communication isn't just about speaking English, it's about speaking it clearly, confidently, and with purpose. Whether you're managing an international team or working locally, mastering these skills will help you become a more effective project manager.
Thanks for joining us today on Fluent Project Talk. We hope These tips help you lead your next project with confidence and clarity. Until next time, keep improving your communication skills and watch your project succeed.